if you switch to OpenOffice, you can find that one person who actually came out with the word processor in OpenOffice. You can ask him your questions. You can get answers directly to this. I had a very, very interesting problem, and I'll just take 2 minutes to talk about it. I bought a camera, an Olympus camera, several years ago, and the manufacturers, Olympus, said that this camera will work only with Windows Millennium Edition. I don't know if you even know Windows Millennium Edition. It was one of the worst pieces of software to ever have come out from Microsoft. It is so bad that even Microsoft does not list it in its product list anymore. They just removed all traces of Windows Millennium from their website. Now, given the fact that it was such a terrible piece of software, I was not going to go and install it on my computer just to be able to use my camera. So what did I do? I looked around on the internet, and I found that on Linux there is a photo library, a set of application, programming interfaces, APIs, which can talk to cameras. And I quickly looked through the list of that, and I found that my model was not listed there. It had one model before, it had one model later, but it did not have my model. So I said, okay, this is a little awkward. What do I do about this? So I looked closely at the code, and I saw an email address of the author. I sent him an email. I said, hey, look, you've got C3030 and you've got C3030Z, but what about the one in between? Why have you missed that out? He says, good question. He says, nobody's ever asked me this before, and I don't know anybody who owns that piece of hardware. So if you own that piece of hardware, I'm sending you a little patch, test it and tell me if it works. I said, sure. He sent me literally 4 lines of code, which I added into the G photo library, and I was suddenly able to do things with that camera which the manufacturer did not even know about. If I put the camera on the table there, I could write a command here and it would take a photograph. I could install it as a security camera. I could install it as a security camera where it was doing a motion sensor. So every time something passed by, it would take a photograph. I asked Olympus about this. I said, did you know your camera was able to do something like this? I said, no. I'm going to leave you guys with a tip here on cameras because I love photography. How many of you have Canon PowerShot cameras, digital cameras? 1. That's it. 2, 3, 4. Okay. 5. Oh, not bad. Were you just scratching your head or you were raising your hand? Okay. Go to a website called, or look on the internet for something called CHDK, Canon Hackers Development Kit. CHDK is an amazing set of features that you can add to your camera. There is a very good reason that Canon has not added these on their camera. And their reason is that, look, these are point-and-shoot cameras. They are intended for people who will just pick it up, click, and that's it. They don't want to look at anything more complicated than that. What the camera actually has is a processor called the Digic. The Digic 2 or the Digic 3 chip is an extremely powerful image processing chip. And information about that chip is known to the open source world. And because of that, they have developed a whole new range of options that is available to you if you install that on your camera. You get new menu options, you get features that your camera or even a high-end camera would not support. Shutter speeds of 1/50,000th of a second. So if you want to take that photograph of the drop of water coming out from the tap, you can catch it when it's still a drop of water before it hit the sink. That kind of capability into a little home or consumer camera. It's possible for you to do that. So I'll leave that as an exercise for you to do. Okay, but apart from this, if you look at it purely from the support that is available for free and open source software, there is a very, very large chunk of support which is also available commercially. Which means that you can hire an individual like me, one person, or Instruo or anybody else who's in this job, or you can go up that chain and even go up and hire a company like IBM, or a company like Red Hat, or a company like Yahoo, or a company like Google. So depending on what you're willing to pay for on support, the choices are all there. It's for you to choose, it's for you to see, does my company or does my institute require this level of support? Can I work with a user group? Can I work with, maybe just one consultant? Whatever works for you, all the options are actually there. Okay, another quick break. Which also brings me pretty much to the end of my talk. And as we say in the open source world, talk is cheap, show me the code. This has a bit of a history to it, and I'm not going to go into all of it, but I just want to very, very quickly bring in 2 points out here. First.in, which is an event that I represent. I was called here because of being a team member of First.in. It's an event which has been going on for the last 10 years. It's held in Bangalore. It's about free and open source software. It's a great place to go and meet the authors of free and open source software. Because for the last 2 years now, we are concentrating purely on developers. We want people from India to not only start using free and open source software, but actually contributing to free and open source software. One of the students was asking me earlier, what can I do with free and open source software? And you say contribute, but what is there? Look at it this way. Google Summer of Code in 2005 had one Indian as a student and one Indian as a mentor. Which is absolutely shameful, because at the same time, in 2005, Sri Lanka had 17 students and 3 mentors. And we are supposed to be the superpower in IT. So where is the superpower? Why are we only consumers? Why are we only using free and open source software, if at all, and why are we not contributing back? The options and avenues to contribute are absolutely tremendous, and if anyone wants to talk about that, I'm still here for a couple of more hours, so feel free to talk to me. First.in will happen in the first week of December, December 1 to 5 in Bangalore. It's going to be a very, very good event this time, so we're giving you enough notice. Come as a college team, come individually, come in any which way you want. The faculty should come, whoever is interested in free and open source software. This is definitely the one event in the country to be at. Okay, what did I use to produce this presentation? I used OpenOffice.org, I'm using Ubuntu, and yes, no corporate budgets were harmed because it's all free software. If you have any questions, okay, you can always Google, but I'm willing to take questions as well. That's my information. If you need to contact me, Kishore@linkaccess.com. Thank you very much.